What's up YouTube, Card Boss here, back with another video where we talk about cards, money, investing, and today it's all about SEAL products. And it's a question that's come out very often, is SEAL products safe? Is this where we should park our money? Incremental growth, good things, bad things, take up a lot of space and all this kind of stuff. So I'm here to share with you my angle on SEAL product investing and why it's good, why it's not good, why does it work for some people, and why it doesn't. So let's get right to it. So what you see in front here on the screen is my PWC vault, where I have a bunch of SEAL products here. It's a mix of basketball, some Marvel. So this is what I have here. Now, I haven't been investing in SEAL products for the longest of time. In fact, I only recently started a couple of months back. And why suddenly did I actually, delve into SEAL products? And SEAL products has always been on my mind. Don't get me wrong. I always like the thought of having SEAL products for all the reasons that you're probably familiar with, right? Whereby it's slow but incremental growth, and it's one of those sure things, okay? But of course, there's a bunch of caveats to it. And this video, we're going to explore some of those factors. So I'm going to split the categories into two, which is sports, in this case NBA, and Marvel, right? So we're going to talk about sports first. Now, the general principle behind SEAL products is basically it's a basket of players, in a particular draft class. In this case here, I'll have 2003, which is the draft class of LeBron James, and 1996, which is the draft class of Kobe Bryant. You have Allen Iverson and Ray Allen, a couple others, and LeBron here together, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony. So good stuff within here. So first and foremost is it's a basket of a strong draft class, and that's where the year of SEAL products that you want to target in, right? Now, of course, throughout when the first product is just released, right? So I have an example here when I'm scrolling down this list, 2021, whereby you have the most recent draft class with Scottie Barnes, Evan Mobley, Franz Wagner. Okay, so these products can be attained new. Now, how long does it take for it to achieve, maximum return, right? So on average, when you look at the lifespan of some of the SEAL products, it goes roughly between, say, about 2 to 3% per annum growth rate, right? Depending on the performance of the class. Certain class don't do so well, and that's where it actually goes up maybe 2 or 3% in the first couple of years and then drops off significantly. So those boxes like this 2003 SP Authentic, with our insured value here, or in this case market value roughly about $3,000, it didn't just skyrocketed to this value. Obviously, in the first couple of years, when it's originally retailed, I don't know what the exact retail price is. Let's just say it's $2.99, okay, per box. It did incrementally grow, and of course, when LeBron hit his stride, and of course with Dwayne Wade and all, this is when the price actually moved up on a higher scale. And don't forget, some of these products actually have significant inserts or autographs within them. Like for example, 2003 SP Authentic, you can still get Michael Jordan on card autos in there. And this 1996 metal for Kobe, you have, even though you don't have autograph cards, you do have that precious metal insert that's in one per box, okay? And one thing that's actually a key point, digressing a bit, is actually this word here, hobby, right? So it's not like every SEAL product, within that particular year that you want to go in. You actually want to be focusing on hobby products, and that's where, because most of the big money cards are, there's a lot of people who dive into retail, which is more of a margin game, more of a flipping game. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy, but that's the kind of products whereby you try to turn the dollar pretty quickly, and not something that you want to hold for a longest period of time. So these boxes here are basically kept for, you would say 5 years, 10 years, depending, right? So one thing you guys have to remember, right? So when you invest in these kind of products, and it's only have an incremental growth rates of like 2 to 3% a year, kind of like after 5 years, you probably have like maybe, let's say, 15% growth. And that's, in looking at the numbers itself, it may feel as though like, okay, it's not too bad, 15%, but the cost of selling these days, and whether it's on eBay or PWC, is actually about 10 to 15%, unless of course you're physically taking these boxes to a show and somebody's going to pay you full retail on it, which highly unlikely to happen. So most of the time, these boxes get traded on the open market, like in eBay, or maybe sold to some big distributor like Dave and Adams, based on their buy list price, and that's already a huge chunk of the actual retail price. So it's kind of like you wait for 2-3 years, or maybe 2 to 5 years, only to sort of like break even once you actually sell those boxes. So this is an even longer hold, than what most people thought. So it's like a 10-year kind of thing. So is it worth actually waiting in that 10 years? Now, I want to share with you guys whereby even though we're talking about like 2-3% per annum, but there could be certain points in time within that 10 years whereby prices do jump up pretty tremendously, and for maybe in the early years as well. And there's one of the clear examples that we can see is like in the 2018 products, Luka's year. And when Luka first, when 2018 products first released, a lot of them could still be purchased for just above whatever RSP price, but it didn't take quite long, when Luka actually demonstrated himself to be MVP caliber player as early as year 2, and that's when these boxes actually spiked up really high, whereby these kind of select boxes, from a original retail price, I would say what, $300, and now it's kind of like trending around like $1,500, $1,600 for regular select boxes. So it's these kind of spikes that does happen within that first 10 years. In normal circumstances, we're looking at, say, these 2021 products, early years, maybe incremental growth 1-2%, and then maybe it just takes a particular stretch of years whereby certain players within this particular draft class does really well, and that's where actually will spike up the value of these boxes. And that's at that point in time is when you actually want to take opportunity to try and move some of these boxes. So it's a lot of things to take in. There's a lot of moving factors to monitor. It totally behaves differently from single cards, but that's the general principle of seal investing. Now, one major concern for seal investing is space. Right, so a lot of people, I love boxes, but I hate storing them in the basement. They just take up too much room, right? For some people, you buy 1 or 2 boxes, or maybe a case of that's fine, tuck in the corner, tuck in a closet somewhere. But if you're going for huge sealed investing, talking about like 20, 30, 50 boxes, 100 boxes, right? So where are you going to store all of that? And that's where PWCC vaults comes in a bit handy. And for some of you may think, hey, storing it's a bit expensive, right? Paying between $10 to $25 a box to store with PWCC. But think of the long-term value on this, right? Because, like I said, you got to store these boxes for at least between a 5 to 10 year period. And of course, within that 5 to 10 year period, you actually find ways to liquidate these boxes. But having the boxes stored away, for 10 years and just apportioning, between 10 to 25 bucks is actually not super expensive. So that's something actually to consider. I'm not actually promoting a PWCC service in any way, but this is how I do it. And being the fact that I'm in Malaysia, so having the boxes shipped, halfway across the globe, being a couple of pounds of each of these boxes, shipping is just going to be expensive. And don't forget, to sell, I got to do the shipping the other way. So having a service like a vaulting service, to store these boxes takes away the hassle of storage, as well as saving a lot of money on potential shipping. So that's the general principle for that seal products. I want to touch a bit on Marvel as well. So you look at a couple of Marvel products that I have here: 2016 Marvel Gems, and this is 2017 Flair Ultra Spider-Man, as well as I got one here 2015. And these if for those Marvel enthusiasts, and why these boxes sound familiar is because 2015 is the second print of the PMGs, and 2017 is the third print Spider-Man PMGs as well, whereby you get the first appearance of Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. So these Marvel boxes, I know in the 1990s kind of like iconic, but there's plenty of them going around. So for these Marvel products, there is still a lot in the open market. So you want to pick and choose the one that's kind of like a bit scarce, right? So of course, definitely they come with a higher price point, like this Flair Retro here, and of course this Flair Retro comes in a higher price point as well. But these are the ones that potentially will have the longer hold value down the road. If you want to buy Series 4 or X-Men 1992, and that's like $250 a box, that's fine, but you have to consider that there are tons of these boxes going around. And what's the the EV on these boxes, right? There is no particular high strong chase cards in any of them. You get a regular chase cards in terms of the holograms and stuff like that. But with these Flair Retro here, there are the PMGs, they are the jambalayas, right? With this 2016, there are the exquisites, which is 1 per box, right? Of course, the exquisite nameplates, and of course, has the very rare diamond mine as well. So all these high value chase cards here, presents I would say like a little gambling opportunity for people down the road who wants to actually deep dive into these old boxes, just to have the nostalgia to crack one of these. And I'm talking about, year 2026 or 2030, when looking at the situation here. So, but definitely for Marvel, you want to go for really iconic boxes. You may have to pay a bit more to store these boxes, to purchase these boxes, but definitely that's the direction that I will be looking into. So that's my wrap up on sealed products. Am I still buying sealed products? Yes, I am. Just of course picking and choosing what I want to get. There is a lot in the market going around, and because the margins are so thin, right, 2 to 3% per annum, you want to make sure that you go in at the best price possible, because every $50 makes a lot of difference, to a $500 box. 10% is literally 3 years of margins or 2 years of margins that's gonna set you backwards. So be patient on buying sealed products. You definitely can get good value if you find the right source and buy it during the right time. Alright, that's all I got today. Do like, subscribe, and follow my channel for more content in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next one, Carboss out.